And we're back, guys. I'm hoping we are able to hear. Like I said, sorry for the trouble, guys. I'm hoping we're able to hear again. Coming back, guys, like I told you, the next important news to understand is the electric car sharing launched in Singapore. Right after we have spoken about Saudi Arabia letting their women drive trucks and bikes, and also right. We are coming back to seeing electric car sharing launched in Singapore. Now Singapore has launched electric car sharing service. Now why? Simply because they want to remove any sort of pollution that is happening and eventually provide that the Singapore will be the second biggest electric car sharing service in the world after Paris. Right? So this is done by a particular France-based company called as the Bolo Group. So France had already done this in Paris, trying to make maximum pollution reduction by introducing electric cars. Now they have tried and tested this in the place Singapore and making it the second biggest electric car sharing service in the world. So quickly remember, guys, electric car sharing launched in Singapore will be the second biggest country, city, the first biggest being Paris. Right? Please remember these important points. Alright, having said that, let's move to the next slide. Right? So WHO certifies Gabon as polio free. So Gabon as polio free. I have not put that. Here you go. WHO certifies Gabon as a country in Africa. It certifies it as polio free, right? The World Health Organization has declared this after knowing that the disease is endemic only in Afghanistan and Pakistan, where the WHO recorded 4 cases this year. That is 2 in each of these countries, in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So it is endemic, means it is present only in these 2 countries, right? Among those few countries which are prone to polio, India has also very recently, in the past 3 to 4 years, only completely eliminated polio, and now Gabon, a country in Africa, has also eliminated it, and the remaining 2 countries being Afghanistan and Pakistan. Are you clear, guys? Let's quickly go back and understand these things, please, because these are questions that can possibly come up in your CLAT exam in terms of healthcare and WHO and who has certified it. So please understand the important parts over here is to understand who has certified a country as polio free and which are the 2 countries which are having an endemic problem. All this should be clearly understood, right? It's not just important that you learn a particular thing. Hemant and Chandralekha, let's not speak about what Manthan is right now. Let's finish off the session and then afterwards you guys can discuss all these things. Moving on to the next slide. The 11th Ministerial Conference, MC11. The 11th Ministerial Conference, MC11. It happens in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is in Argentina. And this has a number of ministerial decisions, including fisheries subsidies, e-commerce duties, and also negotiation in all possible areas in these particular countries, right? Please remember, Buenos Aires is in Argentina, and that is where the 11th Ministerial Conference has been held, right? And this is also the place where the conference had boasted of the launch of enabling e-commerce initiative, the launching of enabling e-commerce initiative, and also remember, guys, Google as WTO's as first small business champion, right? So please remember this, guys. Argentina's capital is very, very important. The 11th Ministerial Conference has been held there, and Google has been declared as the first small business champion of WTO. right? And also the important part is the enabling e-commerce initiative. Moving on, guys, Google is launching soon its artificial intelligence research center in China. So Alphabet, which is a parent company of Google, is opening its artificial intelligence research center in China to target the country's local talent, right? Now, please understand that the products of Google and Facebook are actually blocked in China. The products of Google and Facebook are generally blocked in China. If you see, the chats that they use are not even WhatsApp. I mean, WhatsApp is banned. The research center is the first of its kind in Asia, basically because Google wants to forte into a country which has got so much of population, and if they are not able to get any sort of data from these kind of people because they have blocked these services. Guys, having said that, where is India's first artificial intelligence center? Please quickly give me the answer. India's first artificial intelligence center. And also give me the answer as to where is the World Congress on IT being held? Quickly type in the answers, guys. And also World Congress on IT, where is it being held? And please tell me also Global Economic Conference, where is it being held? World Congress on IT is being, guys, World Congress on IT is being held in Hyderabad. 105th Indian Science Congress. Indian Science Congress is being held in Manipur. Don't make the mistake, guys. Please remember. Please remember. Pranay Jain, please remember that the Indian Science Congress 105th is being conducted in Manipur, whereas the World Congress on IT is being held in Hyderabad. Having said that, guys, we move to the next one. Center has offered 2.5 lakh for every intercaste marriage with a Dalit, right? And because this has become a big issue and there's a lot of honor killings happening, intercaste marriage with a Dalit, because they have to be promoted, because it's a new way to promote the Dalits, because otherwise they'll always remain as a downtrodden section of the society. Please understand that the center has offered 2.5 lakhs to such couples whose annual income does not exceed 5 lakhs. So please understand, just because you go and randomly marry between two castes, you will not get the 2.5 lakhs. Your annual income should not exceed rupees 5 lakhs, and they will only get a one-time incentive of 2.5 lakhs from the center. Right? Please remember all this, guys. This is to promote Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's need for social integration. Please understand, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was also a Dalit, right? Please remember this, guys. 5 lakhs should be below, that should be your annual income, and you should be that either of the spouse should be a Dalit. And also please remember that 2.5 lakhs is a one-time incentive that is given from the central government. Moving on, guys, India signs loan agreement with the World Bank for 250 million. Please remember, like I told you, World Bank does not give loans to countries when they are in deficit of money, but they give you loans, or they give you money only for projects, right? And like I told you, World Bank headquarters is in the US. It is in Bretton Woods in Washington DC, right? Please remember. And also the next thing is the Sankalp project. Sankalp project is the awareness for livelihood promotion, right? This kind of project. So this is Sankalp, guys. Please remember, I have just split it across. Sorry for the trouble. This is skills that we have. This is what Sankalp's full form is. You can go ahead and understand this, right? Skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion is your Sankalp project. You signed with the World Bank back in 2016 onwards. They had brought this up. And IBRD loan, guys. IBRD is the old name for World Bank, and it is now a division of the World Bank. It says International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. So please make sure you understand these two things, important things, guys. What is the full form of IBRD? It's a section of the World Bank. It was the earlier name of the World Bank as well. And the Indian project that is there for skill development and knowledge awareness is your Sankalp project. And this has been given a loan of 250 million for the particular project. Moving on, guys, Vigilant Ace. Now we are going on to go to the military exercises called as Vigilant Ace. And Vigilant Ace is a military exercise which is not actually military exercise, it is an aerial defense exercise. Aerial defense exercise between South Korea and USA. And this is the biggest ever combined Air Force drill. It is called as Vigilant Ace, and it is to basically improve the ties between these two countries. But please understand there's a small catch to it. It is actually against the growing threat from North Korea. So US wants to make its position very clear on South China Sea. Right, having said this, guys, please remember Vigilant Ace. Can we quickly look at Cobra Gold? Cobra Gold was held in which country, guys, this year? Cobra Gold having participation from 29 countries. Can we quickly key down where Cobra Gold was being held? It is also a Navy exercise, Cobra Gold. Vishnu, can you please refrain from such kind of talks, that we are not here to discuss the CAT preparation fees. Here, this is only a session for particularly focusing on the CAT, CLAT, GK. Okay, let's have all sorts of such discussions later. Beautiful answer, guys. Thailand, and there's also another exercise called as Milan 2018. Milan 2018. Where was it held this time, guys? Where was it held this time? India had participated in it. Where was it held this time? Yes, yeah, here I'm covering the current affairs from 1st to 16th of December GK. It was in Port Blair, guys. It was in Port Blair. It was hosted by India this time. It is not in Lakshadweep, it is in Port Blair. Yes, Rajeshwaran, Oman had participated for the first time. Yes, Oman had participated for the first time. So we have discussed a couple of military exercises as well as a couple of Air Force. So this is one of the aerial exercises that we have, guys. Vigilant Ace is an aerial or an Air Force exercise. It is not a Navy or a military exercise. And military is same as Army. Moving on, guys, you have INS Cavalry. Now this is first of the 6 Scorpion class submarines for the Indian Navy, right? The newest Indian Navy service Cavalry that is there, Indian Naval Service Cavalry, that is first of the 6 Scorpion class submarines for the Indian Navy, and it is touted as India's deadliest submarine, and the attack submarine is indigenously built in the Musgaon Dock Limited in Mumbai. So it's an indigenously made submarine. Please remember this, guys. Having said that, guys, there is also one more military exercise you have to remember. it is called as Juniper Cobra. We will discuss this in detail when we talk about March current affairs. But Juniper Cobra, it was done by Israel and by US. Israel and US. It is a Navy drill that is done by Israel and US. Please remember this, guys. Now, having to move on, guys, we will look at quickly. USA Supreme Court allows full enforcement of Donald Trump's latest travel ban. So if you remember, Donald Trump came into power, he didn't want people from a couple of countries to walk into US. So therefore, he had enforced a ban on travel to the United States by residents of mostly Muslim countries. These are from Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria and Yemen. Meghna, the exercise by US and Israel together was called Juniper Cobra, Juniper, Cobra, Cobra. Having said that, guys, we move on. Please remember the Muslim countries which have been given complete ban from visiting the United States of America. These are Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria and Yemen. Having said that, guys, please remember these states. Quickly take it down. Let me go back to the question, guys. Which country has opened the first automated container terminal in the world? First automated container terminal in the world? Alright, amazing answer, guys. Having said that, let us quickly go into our session. Right, China, Shanghai is where it is being done. Now, please remember that we have our International Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance officially has become a treaty-based international organization. It was started by India and France. If you remember, we had discussed this a couple of times. Right, International Solar Alliance, and this has to include countries between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. These are people who receive the highest sunlight and therefore they can use solar power as a type of renewable resource, therefore not depending only on thermal and hydroelectric power for lighting up their electricity. So please remember, guys, France and India started the International Solar Alliance. The headquarters of the Secretariat. Please remember the ISA headquarters is in Gurgaon in Haryana and not in Delhi like we normally discuss. Normally all the important organizations have their headquarters in Delhi, but this is in Gurgaon in Haryana. Please remember, guys, COP21. COP21 is the Paris Agreement that happened. COP is Conference of Parties 21. Conference of Parties 21. Right. Having said that, let's move to the next one. Sports in shorts. Michael Jordan is the highest paid athlete of all time. Michael Jordan, we all know, who used to represent Chicago Bulls. He was a basketball player. He is the highest paid athlete of all times. And having said that, guys, the most important other thing is that Roger Federer has become the first man to win 8 Wimbledon trophies after beating Croatia's Marin Cilic. Okay, so he's the first man to win 8 Wimbledon trophies. Please keep this in mind. And he was also given the BBC Overseas Sports Personality of the Year Award. BBC Overseas Sports Personality of the Year Award. So two things to remember, guys: the highest paid athlete of all times, Michael Jordan, and Roger Federer has been given the BBC Overseas Sports Personality of the Year award, and also became the first man to win 8 Wimbledon trophies at one shot. So he maintains that kind of a record. Michael Jordan is an American, guys. I'm sure you have heard, people who play basketball know who Michael Jordan is. There's a movie also in his where he's acting called Space Jam. And if I'm not wrong, Roger Federer is from one of those European countries, I think from Switzerland. I'm not too sure what the country is that he is from. Right, and having said that, we move to the next slide, guys. Right, the next slide. India will host the 2023 World Cup. India will host the 2023 World Cup. Alright, now as of now, India has hosted it, but not completely. The last time, 2011, that India had hosted, there was also Sri Lanka and Bangladesh who had co-hosted with India. But now, India will host the one-day International World Cup in 2023 as well as the Champions Trophy in 2021. Right, so we had co-hosted before, guys, the ODI One-Day International World Cup. That's a Cricket World Cup. But now, please remember 2023 and 2021. Right, moving on, guys, the next one. The next important thing is the first South-South Human Rights Forum. Please remember, guys, this is new thing that's called the South-South Human Rights Forum, which will be held in Beijing. Right? Now, please remember, just the name and the place is what is important, but the theme of the forum was to build a community of shared future for humanity. Basically, South-South means I'm talking about the South Asian countries where China wanted to introduce this concept of human rights, because a lot of human rights violation happens across these countries. So what happened is that there was something called as a Beijing Declaration, which is issued at the forum, and the participants has agreed to do what? Right to subsistence and right to development are the primary human rights. Right to subsistence means, guys, right to feed oneself. Subsistence means you grow crops or you earn to feed yourself first. Right, having said that, guys, next thing, the Oxford Dictionary names youthquake as the word of the year. In 2017, the youthquake was used as the word of the year owing to what it calls a political awakening. So youthquake means a lot of youth got involved and much influenced and affected by a lot of things that are happening around the world. And youthquake is defined as a significant cultural, political, or social change arising from the actions or influence of young people. Right, guys, have we taken this? Youthquake is the word of the year for 2017. Right, and having said that, we move to the next one, that is Exercise Ajaya Warrior. Exercise Ajaya Warrior. Now, this is an Indo-UK military exercise. Ajaya Warrior is an Indo-UK military exercise which is held at the Mahajan Field Firing Range in Rajasthan. Indo-UK military exercise. Military exercise is okay, guys, military exercise also means army exercises. The major highlights is very simple. They were looking at military to military cooperation, anti-terrorist operations, and interoperability. So please understand, a lot of these defense forces operate all by themselves. So they wanted to integrate with the other forces of defense like Navy and Air Force, and they also wanted to mainly work against eliminating terrorists through the anti-terrorist squad. Yes, Suranda, we can go back to the South-South human rights. This one, let's just wait to the end of the session because we have a lot to cover. Once we are done with the session, we will go through all these doubts that we have. Meghna also, let's come back to the points that we have so that we don't go back a couple of slides. And like I said, Ajaya Warrior is a very, very important exercise, Indo-UK military exercise held at the Mahajan Field Firing Range in Rajasthan. Please remember the place. Next exercise is, guys, Equivalent. Equivalent is an Indo-Maldives joint military exercise. Equivalent, Indo-Maldives joint military exercise held in Belagavi, or something that you call Belgaum, earlier days. Now please remember, guys, the Maldives National Defence Force and the Indian Army, which will have been alternatively held in India and Maldives since 2009. And all these things are important, but the main important thing is the name of the exercise and which of the defence forces are involved, and also which of the two countries are conducting it and the place where it is being conducted. Ajaya Warrior is an Indo-UK exercise. Indo-UK exercise. Guys, please give me what is Vajra Prahar. We had discussed Vajra Prahar. Vajra Prahar is one exercise that we had discussed, and where is it being held? Quickly give me the answers. We had discussed this in the YouTube live session. Yes, it is in Seattle. Indo-US exercise is called as Vajra Prahar, and it is in Seattle, and it was held this time. Moving on, guys. Moving on. The World Conference on Vedas. The Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has inaugurated the World Conference on Vedas. It is called as a Vishwa Veda Sammelan. Vishwa Veda Sammelan at the Indira Gandhi Center in New Delhi. So just remember, it is in New Delhi. Akash is not in Thailand. Thailand, what was held was Cobra Gold. World Conference on Vedas. Again, guys, please remember, it's called the Vishwa Veda Sammelan. Vishwa Veda Sammelan. Sammelan is conference. Vishwa is probably the universe or world for that matter, and Vedas is Ved. Alright, guys, moving on to the next slide. There is Nyaya Gram. The Nyaya Gram project of the High Court of Allahabad. So the Allahabad High Court has introduced this particular project called as Nyaya Gram. Right, a village of justice, Nyaya, or law or justice. And the President of India has laid the foundation stone for this project in Allahabad. Nyaya Gram, please understand, guys, this is a project by the High Court of Allahabad for creating a village or an area which was in lines with the justice or for law, right? And this was inaugurated by the President of India, and the foundation stone was laid in Allahabad. Okay, moving on, guys. Take down this one, guys. Please take down the name, the place, and who is conducting the Nyaya Gram. Let's move on to the next slide quickly. Now the important thing is the world's steepest funicular railway line. Funicular railway line, the steepest railway line, right, is opened in Switzerland. How does it work? You guys can read through it. Right, it consists of two lines of cylindrical carriages resembling beer barrels. It will allow the passengers to remain upright at all times, but it will be going through a very, very steep railway line. Having said that, guys, the important thing to understand is where is the world's steepest funicular railway line open, and this is in Switzerland. And if you're not able to picturize this, guys, please, no, the working is not going to necessarily be joy. The only important thing for us is to remember facts. They will not ask you what exactly it is like, right? For us to remember is just that the track meter. So they have this problem. CLAT exam generally asks you numbers, guys. So just remember that they have a 1,720 meter track, and it climbs or ascending or descending 743 meters a second. So in all these things, you just remember the numbers, but the important thing is to remember where is the world's steepest funicular railway line opened. Abdullah, the funicular basically means when your railway is running on a particular, like you say, on a single line or maybe on a rope. Like when you have your cable cars that you see in all these Switzerland and all the other European countries, or if you see something like the process of your lift, right? It runs on a cable or a wire that is being pulled up and down. Next important thing to understand, guys, or remember is Dr. Lalji Singh. He's the father of DNA fingerprinting in India. What is the news? Guys, Sankar Kulkarni, let's not have any sort of unwanted talk that is happening in. Right, moving on, guys, moving on. We move to the next one. Dr. Lalji Singh is the father of DNA fingerprinting in India, and he passed away following a massive heart attack. But the important thing over here is only that the question they'll ask you is who was known as the father of DNA fingerprinting in India? Right, having said that, let's move to the next slide, guys. The next slide. Kacheguda has become the first energy efficient railway station. Now, where is Kacheguda railway station? It is in Hyderabad. Now, I always in this case want to ask you which is the first all-women non-suburban railway station. Can we quickly type in the answers? First non-suburban all-women railway station. Melita, BHU is Banaras Hindu University. It used to be an old Banaras Hindu University which presently got converted into an IIT. Guys, please understand the one in Chandragiri. No, the one in Chandragiri is the All India railway station that is there. But the first non-suburban station is in Gandhinagar in Jaipur. Please remember, guys, that's why I asked you this question, because it was a small clarification. Chandragiri is the first all-women railway station in the south zone only in the south zone. Guys, it is not in Gandhinagar, it is in Gandhinagar station, which is in Jaipur. Gandhinagar station, which is in Jaipur, the first all-women non-suburban railway station. Right, the first all-women railway station which is there in Andhra Pradesh in Chandragiri district is the one in the south of India, the South Zone Railways. It is the first station. Yes, Rohit and Pramita, Matunga is the first urban railway station, that is first urban railway station that is there. Urban railway station, what I mean urban suburban means the local trains that you go by in Mumbai. Right, Kachegowda is the first energy efficient railway station. Kachegowda is the first energy efficient railway station which is in Hyderabad. Right, please remember just that, and it is the first of the ranking list is very, very important, guys. That's why we are discussing all of these. Please remember, first energy efficient railway station is Kachegowda in Hyderabad. Moving on, guys, surface to air missile Akash. Surface to air missile Akash. This is the missile inducted into the army. It is a short range surface to air missile. Please understand, all surface to air missiles, like I told in the class today to my class students, please remember, surface to air missiles will be very short range and will be small missiles, because the only reason why you fire these missiles is to bring down aircrafts. So unlike the surface to surface missiles, which is air to land, land to air, or sea, sorry, not air to land, but water to water, water to land, land to water. These kind of surface to surface missiles will be having to travel a lot more than just the normal distance that you do to fire at an aircraft. Therefore, these will be of a higher payload and will also travel much more faster. So surface to air missile is what is Akash, and the two missiles which are nuclear warheads and it is capable of having nuclear attacks for India, the two warheads are called as Agni and Dhanush. Agni and Dhanush, please understand, guys, are ballistic missiles, and Prithvi, which is also a surface to surface missile, is a cruise missile. I told you the difference before. Cruise missile will be powered throughout by a attached device or a machine or by a propeller, whereas a ballistic missile initially fired from an artillery will then strike its target or move to its target with the force of gravity. Are we able to understand, guys? Please remember, Akash is surface to air missile, and Prithvi, Agni and Dhanush are surface to surface missiles, generally fired from a naval aircraft, sorry, naval ship. And what is Rustam drone, guys? We have just talked about Rustam drone. What is a drone? Rustam drone. Please remember, it is a MALE, medium altitude long endurance UAV. UAV is an unmanned aerial vehicle. So this is just like a Transformers movie. If you remember the first part where a small plane goes in and checks in the desert what is actually happening, it's like a spy. So please remember, it is Rustam. Rustam 2 has been recently launched. Right, having said that, guys, the next important news is that because of too much of doping, Russia has been banned from 2018 Winter Olympics. Russia, the country, has been banned, but clean Russian athletes will be allowed to compete under an Olympic flag. Please understand, under an Olympic flag, which means they do not represent any country, they only represent themselves as individual independent athletes. And this is for the Winter Olympics, which will be held in Pyeongchang in South Korea. right? So Russia has been banned for state-sponsored doping. So which means the Russian government was aware of this, and the Russian Olympics Association had also been in tandem with this doping. Having said that, guys, let's move on to the next one. So the important thing for you to understand here is which country has been banned from the Olympics, Winter Olympics, guys, not the Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics, and also where is the 2018 Winter Olympics being held. Moving on, guys, UNESCO has named Kumbh Mela as the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Kumbh Mela has been mentioned as the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Kumbh Mela is the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Right? So the intergovernment body has named the Kumbh Mela as a representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Means, guys, those heritages which cannot be touched and felt. So the heritages are defined as natural heritage and cultural heritage. And having said that, natural heritage is which represents a very important part of nature, whereas cultural heritage is some building or some structure that represents a particular culture. And intangible cultural heritage will be some form of dance or some form of language or some form of a festival which also represents a major culture. Right, so please remember, guys, Kumbh Mela has been the latest addition of India into the cultural heritage of UNESCO, and this time it is an intangible cultural heritage. Right, having said that, let's go to Arogya 2017. Arogya 2017. It was held in Delhi. In Delhi, it is an international conference on Ayush and Wellness. It is an international conference on Ayush and Wellness. It was inaugurated by Sri Suresh Prabhu, who was the Minister of Commerce and Industry. Guys, can you quickly tell me Suresh Prabhu used to take care of which portfolio before this? Railways, absolutely, guys. So now he has become the Minister of Commerce and Industry. And before, who was the Minister of Commerce, guys? Before Suresh Prabhu, who was the Minister of Commerce? Sai, that's a wrong answer. Yes, Karthik, it is Nirmala Sitharaman. Nirmala Sitharaman is currently also the Defence Minister. Not also, she is the Defence Minister. If they ask you a question, who was India's first Defence Minister, it is not Nirmala Sitharaman, it is Indira Gandhi, because while she was Prime Minister, she also had an additional charge of defence. But if they ask you who is India's first independent Defence Minister, then it is Nirmala Sitharaman. Right, having said that, please remember Arogya 2017, because Arogya basically means health and wellness. This is a conference, international conference on Ayush and wellness. On Ayush and wellness. I'm not saying India's first defense minister, I'm saying India's first women defense minister. Sorry if I didn't mention that, India's first woman defense minister. Rajeshwaran, it was inaugurated in New Delhi. As mentioned in the slide, it was inaugurated in New Delhi. Moving on, guys, the important thing, World Soil Day on 5th of December. World Soil Day on 5th of December. It is celebrated at the Food and Agriculture Organization and the headquarters is in Rome. FAO headquarters is in Rome. And World Soil Day is celebrated on 5th of December at the FAO headquarters. Important days, guys, please take it separately. Moving on, guys. International Anti-Corruption Day. International Anti-Corruption Day on 9th of December. This is done, or this has been observed since the passage of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Right, having said that, guys, can I quickly go back and understand from a YouTube live session who's the first Indian woman to fly a Mig21 Bison from the Gujarat Air Base? Beautiful answer, guys. Avni Chaturvedi. Avni Chaturvedi. Right. Having said that, guys, let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide. The first ever seaplane to fly in India. The first ever seaplane to fly in India, and it was landed in a river and not in the beach or on the sea. The first ever seaplane to fly in India. This landed it took off from Sabarmati River. Please remember, guys, this landed in a river, the first ever seaplane to fly in India. This was done in the Mehsana district in Gujarat. Sabarmati River, please understand, is in Gujarat. Right, moving on, guys. The next important thing, before we go to one slide, we'll skip one slide to go to Human Rights Day. Human Rights Day is the day celebrated by United Nations General Assembly on 10th December, on which the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was made. The second part was not important, guys. The important part for you to understand is Human Rights Day, 10th of December. Right, and since 1948 it's been celebrated since the Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Declaration made by the General Assembly. As of now, no particular theme has been mentioned, guys. As in when a theme is being mentioned, we will study it. Certain times they will not have a theme as such, right? Certain events have a theme, certain events do not have a theme. Moving on, guys, we look at the slide that we missed out. The food testing lab in Goa. India's first ever mobile food testing lab was launched in Goa. India's first ever mobile food testing lab was launched in Goa. Goa Chief Minister, of course, who was also the earlier Defence Minister, Manohar Parrikar, has launched the first ever mobile food testing laboratory. Please take it down, guys. The first ever mobile food testing laboratory. Sai Rohit, we don't have a particular name for the seaplane that is there. A particular name for the seaplane is not there. Having said that, guys, we have covered one significant part of December current affairs, right? December and March, they have significantly less number of events that happen, unlike the January and February. So this is from December 1st to 16th that we have covered, and we will cover the remaining 15 more days that are there. Rutvik, about Manthan, this is generally all the news that has been compiled from Manthan, and in Manthan itself, according to the increasing order or the highest score of what I thought of most probable questions asked is what we have taken. And please understand that, guys, please understand this, that what we will do is we will cover the remaining part of December current affairs tomorrow, and also March current affairs will be covered on Saturday and Sunday. So people who have come in for the March current affairs, please understand we are not going to skip it. Only thing is, guys, due to popular demand from students to also cover December, I wanted to do December first, because a lot of students have already done March current affairs in taking sessions offline with me in Chennai, is why we have, I didn't change the message also. Once I had already sent the message, I wanted to relate to you once you guys join the YouTube live session. Sorry for any sort of inconvenience caused. Please understand that we are not skipping any of these particular sessions. We are only saying that we have just rescheduled them. Right, December will come up first, and then a couple of students, I think, from Bangalore have left because they thought we are not doing the March current affairs. But please understand, we will cover March and April also. Once December is over, the next we will do is March and April. Right, any other doubts that we have, guys, and people who are not able to understand, please make sure you guys text me or ping me on 8939751646, and we will clear off the doubts. 8939751646. Quickly, just an important session that we have. Yes, the PPT having full screen, there is some sort of a technical issue that we have. The moment we make it full screen, we are not able to reflect the same on the YouTube live sessions. Please excuse the inconvenience. Next time we'll try to rework that as well. Rajeshwaran, the number is 8939751646. And if there is anything to do with the session that we have had today in terms of the things that we discussed, please leave your comments in the box that is there after the video, not in the chat box, guys. A session on legal current affairs, yes, if we can find time for it, guys, because like I said, I would want all of you to participate. We could not do a session just for a couple of students. I would wish all of you come in because we can do legal current affairs as well. Right, first what we will do is we complete off the months in month end as well, so that you guys can have an exhaustive revision of this when you are in the last day of exam. Yes, Pramita, this and month end meaning, yes, if you can exhaustively cover month end, because we have picked up the most important topics in order of their priority from month end itself. Having said that, if you can do the whole thing, okay, Melita here says that there is the World Human Rights Day 2017 had a theme. Melita, can you quickly just put it up on the group so people who are there can quickly understand? Because I had not got the World Human Rights Day. I had not been able to find it. World Human Rights Day theme. Okay, she's put it up, guys. I will go back and look it up, because like I said, I was not able to find it, but as Melita has mentioned, let's stand up for equality, justice and human dignity. Yes, it is confirmed, guys. Please make sure you take this down. So let's please mark it. The theme of 2017 World Human Rights Day was let's stand up for equality, justice and human dignity. Right, thank you so much, guys. If any queries, any comments has to be put up, or any suggestions that are there, you can either text me personally for all your doubts. Like I told you, the numbers again, 8939751646, or you can let us know through a comment on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for logging in, and make sure that next time we have a lot more people coming in. December will complete by tomorrow itself, and we'll make sure that by the next 2 days we'll complete off March as well. Alright guys, thank you so much. We'll stop the stream now. Have a good day. Good night. 7:30 is when the session will happen tomorrow, guys. 7:30. Please make note that the session will happen at 7:30 tomorrow.